What's up, everybody? It's LaMuerteBlanca. Some time ago, I released a full story review for the latest game in the Yakuza franchise, Yakuza Like a Dragon. Many of you asked for more, so I got more. We dropped the Yakuza 0 review not too long ago, and now we continue the story chronologically with Yakuza Kiwami, which is the remake of the original Yakuza game. Straight up, the Yakuza games are all amazing, but they aren't as long as hell. I get it. I have a job, family, I have a stream to maintain. It's tough trying to find time to play these long ass RPG story focused games. If you're one of those that can't spare 30 to 100 hours to play a game or 5 hours to watch all of the amazing cutscenes but want to experience this amazing story, I got you. If you were paying attention to Yakuza 0, you know the whole series of fuckery that took place in the 80s. Now we fast forward to Kamurocho 1995. Kiryu is now lieutenant in the Dojima family, is extremely well known among the Yakuza. Everyone knows the Dragon of Dojima. It's a thing. Like, he should have started a line of merch. Wasted opportunity, Kiryu. The game immediately opens with a huge what the fuck, because one of the first things we see is Kiryu with a gun standing over a dead Dojima? Literally 2 minutes into this game, there's so many questions. What the fuck happened? Why is he just chilling and not running away? What's so important about this ring that says Yumi? We then go back to the previous day for some context. Kiryu rolls up with his homie Shinji, and our man's is still scowling, like homie's eyebrows are forever fixed in this position, going to have mad forehead wrinkles when he gets older. Shinji's a good dude, but he a little punk that can't do his own collections. We know Kiryu would never pass up an opportunity to help a friend or beat the shit out of someone, so it's a win-win. He's gonna get a nice collection for the family as well, so if you're a fan of the old Office TV show, then one might call it a win-win-win. Shinji kicks in the door like his bitch ass is actually going to do anything, but we all know Kiryu does the punching and gets the money. On his way to drop off the collection this other fool wants to try our man's, guess what? He gets his ass beat too. Turns out this is one of Majima's people. Majima's moved up in the world since Yakuza 0. He's captain of the Shimano family and patriarch of his own family. But this dude is still batshit crazy, and after some heated words with Kiryu, decides to go all in on devising a bunch of crazy schemes that get Kiryu to fight him. I'm talking next tier crazy, zombies, strippers, hiding in giant cones, typical Majima shit. And again, all of this just to fight Kiryu throughout the game. Kiryu makes a stop at his favorite bar, Sereno, and he meets up with his mans Nishiki and Reina. While they're talking, Yumi shows up. Wait, is this the Yumi? Off topic, but I need to say it. Yumi got some big ass hands. But oh shit, did the developers give her bear paw so we'd see the ring? So going back even further, it was Yumi's birthday a couple months ago, and Kiryu is one that gave her the ring. Yes, the ring that she's wearing on her big ass hands the day before the murder, and yes, the ring that Kiryu is holding at the murder scene. You can clearly see that her and Kiryu have some chemistry. I don't think they're fucking yet, but they're probably in that pre-fuck flirt stage where the girls draw it out until the man's blue balls gets obnoxiously painful. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. You can also see that Reina has a thing for Nishiki, but his dumbass can't even tell. He's too busy being irrelevant. So back to the day before the murder. Kiryu gives the collection money to his patriarch, mentor, and father figure, Kazama. This was the guy who was doing all of the scheming from jail in Yakuza 0. Some of you might remember that. They chat about Sunflower, the orphanage that Kazama owns, and the same orphanage where Nishiki, Kiryu, and Yumi all grew up. But Kiryu then gets interrupted by a phone call from Shinji. Dojima's bitch ass took Yumi and dipped. And guess what? Nishiki's dumbass decided to go after him. Kazama's all like, stay out of it. Think through this first. Be smart. But Kiryu's all like, nah, they're family. I'm going. And he's out. So naturally, the weather goes from a light drizzle when Kiryu leaves Kazama's office to a full-on monsoon when he gets to Dojima's office. He also ran, so this is all happening in a matter of minutes, which tells you that you know shit's about to go down. Kiryu shows up at the office completely dry, even though he didn't have an umbrella. And Nishiki killed the patriarch of the Dojima family. Yumi's all kinds of fucked up because she almost got raped and just witnessed a murder, and Nishiki looks like he about to cry again. The natural hero that Kiryu tells Nishiki to take Yumi and dip. He decides to take the fall in order to protect those that are closest to him. That's good looks, Kiryu, especially since your ass is gonna spend 10 years in jail. Silver lining, that gives you plenty of time to work on your scalp. Before going to jail, though, Kiryu gets interrogated by an investigator named Date, who doesn't believe Kiryu's bullshit story. More on him later. But while Kiryu is in jail, Shinji tells Kiryu that he's been expelled from the family. He also explains that Yumi lost her memory and went missing the day after the murder. Nishiki also begins his downward spiral as he learns everyone thinks he's useless. He lost Kiryu, Yumi, and his sister died, and now his sole focus and ambition is moving up in the Yakuza ranks by any means necessary. He basically let the dark side of the force consume him, but he is the patriarch of his own family now. Fast forward 10 years later, and Kiryu finally gets out on parole. Now, Think about this for a second. Everything Kiryu's about to do, and he's on parole. Doesn't check in with his parole officer once, by the way. Just violates it in every way possible for the rest of this game. But of course, no one cares. All of the heads of the Tojo clan meet up, and we learn that the 10 billion yen from the Yakuza safe has been stolen. Kiryu's finally back in Kamurocho. Before leaving jail, he got a letter from Kazama that told him to go to a specific club so they could speak. However, Kazama couldn't meet because the chairman said, yeah, he's dead. He got murdered. Everything in the Tojo is completely fucked, and a turf war is starting to brew. You learn that Nishiki betrayed the Kazama family and is trying to go independent with backing from the Omi Alliance. Shinji is currently a lieutenant for Nishiki, but he's undercover monitoring the situation for Kazama. Your next opportunity to meet with Kazama is during Sarah's funeral the following day. You sneak into the Tojo HQ and finally get a chance to sit down with your old mentor. He's about to tell you some important shit about Yumi, and BAM! Kazama got sniped. Naturally, everyone hears the gunshot, and instead of realizing the bullet came from the window, Shimano and his goons automatically blame Kiryu for shooting his own patriarch. This, of course, coming right after he gets blamed for shooting the Dojima patriarch. Kiryu doesn't help his case by throwing one of Shimano's people through the window that had the bullet hole in it, and after Kazama tells Kiryu to take care of Yumi and the 10 bill, Kiryu's rushing to get the fuck out of the Tojo HQ. Shimano tries to stop him, and the entire clan watches Kiryu kick his ass. All the while, Nishiki's just chilling watching the whole thing go down. Man's being extra sus right now. Just when Kiryu is totally fucked with nowhere to go, who else but Date, that detective from before? Yeah, he rolls up in his busted ass hoopty of a car and saves our mans. We learn that Date got demoted and lost his wife and daughter because he was too focused on Kiryu's case and the fact that it never sat right with him. You know, typical detective shit. Now he's investigating Sarah's murder and the missing 10 billion and wants Kiryu to help him. Kiryu pays Reina a visit and learns she doesn't know anything about Yumi. However, Reina did meet Yumi's long-lost sister, Mizuki, 5 years after Yumi's disappearance, and thinks that she now runs a bar called Ares. Reina suggests meeting up with a barkeeper at Bacchus because he would know where Ares is. Kiryu heads to Bacchus to find a straight murder scene. The patrons are dead, bartender's dead. How the fuck does Kiryu keep ending up in these situations? He hears a noise and there's a scared little girl with a gun? She says everyone was like this when she got here, and she's looking for her mom. As they leave the bar, they come across a scared, hungry little puppy. Dago is being beat up by some pricks with tiny dick syndrome, and naturally we need to kick all their asses. So Kira not only beams this dude with a fucking rock, but proceeds to kick the entire gang's ass. That's right, don't fuck with Dago. We get little homie something to eat and add him to the crew. We also learn that Haruka, the little girl, snuck out of the orphanage in order to look for her mom, who is her only family other than her aunt Yumi. Wait, what? Aunt Yumi, the same Yumi we're looking for? That would be a very convenient coincidence. Also a little too convenient is as soon as we get this very interesting information, little girl picks the perfect time to pass out, so now we have to take her back to Serena. After Haruka comes to, we learn that Aunt Yumi used to deliver letters from Haruka's mother while she was at the Sunflower Orphanage, the same orphanage that Kiryu and Yumi are from. And Haruka's mother's name is Mizuki. Oh, damn. So the mother Haruka is looking for is the same person Kiryu is looking for in order to find Yumi. And Yumi, apparently, is Aunt Yumi. Convenient coincidence indeed. Good news is that Haruka knows where Ares is, but she wants to go with Kiryu to look for her mother. So not only does Kiryu dealing with all the Yakuza conspiracy that could very well get him killed, he also has to babysit this small child that will probably make shit 10 times more complicated. So they get to Ares, find a picture of Mizuki confirming she's the bar owner, and Haruka shows Kiryu the pendant Yumi gave to her the last time they met. Date calls saying Yumi and Mizuki are the ones who stole the 10 billion. What? The Omi also show up saying that they want the girl. Kiryu's eyebrows say, nah fam, you fighting me first. You already know, Kiryu beats down like 10 Omi and they get away. The next day, Kiryu and Date are regrouping at Serena when Shinji calls saying he's on the run with Kazama. Good news, I guess. That means Kazama's still alive. So Kiryu needs info on this whole situation, and the only lead he has is an underground information broker that is said to hide out in a place called Purgatory. Basically, you get in by going through the secret door in a bathroom that leads to a homeless camp. But what's underneath the homeless camp is a full-on high-class love den, casino, and fight club. Money, woman, and cage fighting. What else could a rich Japanese businessman want? You walk into the broker's office, which is easily the nicest office I've ever seen in my life. I mean, come on, the guy has a fucking full-story aquarium in his underground office. They call him the florist, not sure why. Maybe he likes flowers, but you know he's powerful as fuck. Fun fact, any fat guy who can afford to live his life in a fancy-ass robe without his shirt is powerful as fuck. So the florist knows everything, and he has a full-on network built into Kamurocho. If you watch my Like a Dragon review, he's basically this game's Gomi Jewel. You can't pay for the info, so you have to make a deal to do what Kiryu does best. Punch people. After winning the Fight Club tournament for the florist, you're about to get some information, but Date shows up, and he's been shot. Haruka's also been kidnapped. Like he didn't even try to protect her. Not a good look for Japanese law enforcement. The florist tells you that the van that took Haruka went to the batting cages. Why the hell would a kidnapper take someone this important to the batting cages? That doesn't make any sense. It might have Majima's crazy asses behind it. Majima gets his crew to kidnap this girl that everyone is after and shoots a cop because he wants to fight Kiryu. Majima don't even give a fuck about the 10 billion or how this girl is being hunted by the Omi. He just wants to fight Kiryu. This fucking guy. So Majima gets his fight, you kick his ass, and even though he has a knife, a bat, and 10 homies to help him, it's not that difficult of a fight. But then Majima gets stabbed because he refuses to let anyone kill Kiryu but him. Whose mans is this? Come get your mans. So after all that, you get Haruka and go back to Serena. Haruka explains that while Kiryu was fighting Majima, someone came into the room while she was tied up and freed her. Told her that take care of the pendant because it's worth 10 billion yen. Is this thing the key to finding the stolen money? The stranger also told Haruka to tell Kiryu about the pendant. So after some side stories explaining how the florist, some random Yakuza head, and Date are all shit fathers, you are taken to a scene where Date is in the meeting with his police chief. Police chief basically says to drop the case, and Date just leaves because he knows the whole thing is sus. Two other detectives come out of the closet once Date leaves, wonder how long they were in there, and describe that Date's friend, who could only be Kiryu, as a kidnapper. Someone filed a missing persons report on Haruka. No one knows who, but the order came from the top. This whole thing reeks of collusion and corruption, and naturally no one, including cops, can be trusted at this point. Back at Serena, Date shows Kiryu a picture of a dead woman who recently turned up. A dead woman who has the exact same flower tattoo as Mizuki. No. Kiryu notices the tattoo signature is the same guy who did his tattoo, so he goes to follow up, only to find out that it wasn't the guy who did his tattoo, but very likely a copycat artist. Tattoo artist then gets a call, but it's for Kiryu. Weird. It's Nishiki. Nishiki? He says he needs to talk to Kiryu at Serena tomorrow night. Date and Kiryu are wanting to keep Haruka safe and discuss sending her to purgatory. Haruka's all butthurt because Kiryu went looking for Mizuki by himself and she's refusing to go. Because she's a selfish child who doesn't understand how complex this shit show really is, she starts blaming everyone for saying that they're just using her to get this money. Kiryu tries to literally slap some sense into this child he just met and is trying hard not to tell her that Mizuki might be dead. He asks her to believe in him even though he just slapped the shit out of her. But instead, she's all like, if you're gonna do whatever the fuck you want, then I guess I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want too. And then she just dips. Like, that's not gonna cause anybody any more problems. Kiryu and Date go through this whole ordeal trying to track her down, and they end back up at Stardust, the club Kiryu first went to when he left prison. Bet you never saw this coming. Haruka got her ass kidnapped again. And Kiryu has to fight mad dudes to save her again. And right when Kiryu's about to get some info, because these dudes are not actually Yakuza but another organization, BAM! Homie gets shot. Of course he does. So while Haruka is bleeding from a gunshot wound, her and Kiryu make sure to take some time to have a heart-to-heart where Kiryu tells Haruka about her mom. For a little girl who's been shot and her mom is dead, she takes it surprisingly well. Tate decides to follow up on the badge dead homie is wearing, and they finally get Haruka to purgatory. Apparently it took a bullet wound to convince her. Date tells Kiryu to go have some fun with Haruka since they've been through so much in such a small period of time. So instead of bringing the young girl to an arcade, or a movie, or literally anything else appropriate for a small child, Kiryu thought, it might be a good idea to bring her to a secret gambling den. The bookie's just like us and is like, dude, you have a fucking kid. And Kiryu goes, fuck it, we're on a field trip. And proceeds to let Haruka make the bets because for some fucked up reason, she knows exactly how to play this game without any instruction whatsoever. By the way, don't listen to her, she sucks at this game. However, it's not entirely her fault because the bookie's using rigged dice. Conveniently, the bookie has a whole crew of security waiting in the next room and they blame Kiryu for cheating, even though he never touched the dice. So you kick the shit out of everyone while Haruka's just chilling in the corner and then you head back. Great field trip, Kiryu. Next time, try mini golf. You finally meet Nishiki for the first time since saving his ass and spending 10 years in prison. He has his hair all slicked back because he thinks he's cool as shit. Probably uses way too much hair gel. And he thinks he has the balls to demand Kiryu hand over the girl and the pendant. You learn that Nishiki continued to fuck up as his people are the one that killed Mizuki while they were torturing her. It's fucked up. Nishiki's all like, give me the pendant. I won't do you wrong. The whole Tojo clan is at war. But our man's Kiryu fires back like, fuck your war. This pendant is all Haruka has left of her mom. You ain't getting shit. And then, if it couldn't get any more fucked up, Nishiki admits to shooting Kazama. BAM! Naturally, Kiryu decks the shit at a Nishiki for trying to kill their father figure. And on top of all that, Nishiki shows Kiryu the bug he planted on Shinji. Nishiki's all like, I can't trust anyone. I'm going to the top of the Tojo clan no matter what. We're not brothers anymore. Honestly, he probably still mad because Kiryu left his ass in the forest during Yakuza 0. So this fucking guy betrays Kiryu, shoots Kazama, and is trying to kidnap this little girl, and then sends a full hit squad, swords and all, to take out our mans. Kiryu fucks up the crew in the bar, then he gets hyped to fuck up the crew in the alley. You can tell because, again, Kiryu refuses to take the stairs. Naturally, just like their boss, Nishi's crew is a bunch of little bitches, and Kiryu slow walks out of there because that's what badasses do. Then there's an explosion at Purgatory? Kiryu rushes in to find that Date got beat down again, and the floor still can't find a shirt. I guess I should have mentioned that Haruka also got kidnapped again. Seriously, can no one except Kiryu take care of this little girl? This time a gang grabbed the girl, and after throwing some people into boomboxes and crashing a nightclub, Kiryu learns the Snake Flower Triad now has the girl. This group is no joke. They're basically Chinese mafia who captured and tortured the shit out of Kiryu 12 years prior. Like straight up turned his ass into a living pincushion, voodoo doll level torture. While Kiryu's on his way to save Haruka, Shimano is meeting with the Chinese to make a deal for the girl. Then Terada, the Omi head, walks in. Fucking Shimano's conniving bald ass is still trying to deal with the Omi and screw the Tojo. God damn it. Kiryu gets to the Snake Flower Triad HQ. Why wouldn't it be a Chinese restaurant? Everything starts cool when Kiryu simply says he's there to see the guy that's been torturing him. But all of a sudden, man pulls out an assault rifle from behind the fucking host station. Homie has to reload because he can't shoot. So naturally, Kiryu throws a dead fucking body across the lobby and beams this guy with it. The body is at least 150 pounds, and this man tosses it at least 7-8 feet in the air. Do you even lift, bro? Naturally, he doesn't take kindly to being shot at, so Kiryu fucking kung pao chickens the entire restaurant staff, all of the gang members, and let's not forget, they all have Chinese broadswords and guns. But fuck it, Kiryu has hands. He fights his way to Bossman, who has Haruka. Lao Ka Long says that they were really after the girl and no one knows her true value. So you know that even more fishy shit is up. Because he thinks he's cool and he can't just pick up a weapon, he has to kick it and do some cool kung fu twirl thing. But it doesn't matter because, again, Kiryu has hands. You whip Lao's ass and save the girl, but the cops don't care because they're stupid and they're always getting in the way. So instead of being all like, GG's Kiryu, you saved the girl, appreciate you, they say, you're under arrest for kidnapping. Answer me this, pseudo. Why the fuck would Kiryu beat down the entire Snake Flower Triad just to re-kidnap a girl that got kidnapped from him? Exactly. Your shit doesn't make sense. Date has the same thought, so he tries to give it to Pseudo, but Pseudo's dumbass is all like, I'm just following orders. Why is it every time someone's just following orders, they're fucking up? Can someone explain that to me? Date's like, fuck it, and lets Kiryu out of prison anyway. Not sure why the jail cell has these tiny-ass Willy Wonka doors, and he tells Kiryu that the case is getting deeper than they all think. The badge that Date was investigating, apparently it belongs to an underground government organization called the Ministry Intelligence Agency, or MIA. They report directly to the cabinet, which is like a high political office, and they are run by some guy named Jingu. We're basically on CIA level shit at this point. We also find out that the dead body with the flower tattoo wasn't actually Mizuki. Haruka's mother's still out there. Turns out during this conversation, they were getting tailed the entire time. Great detective work, Date, and just like in Yakuza 0, the entire highway turns into a gunfight. With a shitty little snub-nosed revolver, Kiryu takes out multiple cars, motorcycles, and a full-size semi-truck. I guess the Snake Flower Triad could afford semis and rocket launchers, but didn't have Shibusawa's budget for helicopters. Shinji informs Kiryu that Nishiki is somehow getting insider intel, so they ask the floors to help investigate. Turns out Reina, the Serena bar owner, is a fucking snitch. They go to the bar to confront her, but she's not there. She left a letter of confession, apology, and tries to explain how she was willing to do anything to get Nishiki to love her back. Why does love make people so fucking stupid? Anyway, the letter mentions that she wants to take responsibility for everything and doesn't give any more detail. Conveniently though, Shinji calls immediately after you finish reading the letter and says Reina called Nishiki to Serena and tried to shoot him. Apparently she can't shoot because her and Shinji are currently on the run. Kiryu fights his way through multiple buildings full of Yakuza and finally gets to Shinji, who's been shot. The general of the Nishikiyama family rolls up and tosses a dead Reina on the floor. No. But you know they fucked up because then Kiryu goes full on Super Saiyan. Kiryu beats the hell out of a dude who spends the entire boss fight dual-wielding pistols, but Shinji's not looking so good. He tells Kiryu that Kazama is with his girl, Akemi, and right before taking his last breath gives Kiryu back the ring he originally gave to Yumi at the beginning of the game. Shinji's gone, yo. That's damn. The florist gives Kiryu a tip that Akemi could be at Shangri-La, the #1 soapland in Kamurocho. If you've been paying attention, Shangri-La might sound familiar because, fun fact, that is where Ichi from Like a Dragon was born. So with brothel membership in hand, you decide to take this 9-year-old on another field trip. I guess the gambling den wasn't exciting enough. The host has the same idea we do and is like, you can't have kids here. Kiryu doesn't even say fuck you. He just one-punch mans a fucking marble statue and goes, we good? And you thought Kiryu couldn't get any more badass. Do you know how hard a fucking solid marble statue is? You meet with Akemi and learn that Shinji was working with Terada, the head of the Omi, and they're supposed to go to Shibara Wharf. Hold up. The head of the Omi is actually helping Kazama and Kiryu? Akemi also mentions that not only is Nishiki after the 10 billion yen, but he's also after Sarah's will. This is huge because if Nishiki can destroy or alter that will, he can make himself the head of the Tojo. Because why the fuck would we allow Kiryu to have a peaceful conversation? Majima, of all people, drives multiple fucking trucks straight into the Shangri-La front door. Again, all of this just so he could fight Kiryu. Majima gets his fight, he gets his ass kicked again. Why doesn't anyone take a hint? Kiryu and Haruka show up at the wharf and Haruka mentions Terada was the man who saved her at the batting cages and told her about the pendant. What? Apparently Kazama is doing his best Lonely Island impression because he's on a boat and he and Kiryu have a conversation that blows this whole thing wide open. Like nuclear level story bombs start getting dropped everywhere. Terada used to be a hitman like Kazama and is probing the Tojo as a favor to Kazama. Bam! Mizuki isn't Yumi's sister. Mizuki is Yumi. Bam! Mizuki has been Yumi's alternate identity for the past 5 years. Bam! Because all of this, Haruka's mother is actually Yumi. Bam! Jingu, the MIA guy, is actually Haruka's father. Bam! Bam! Yumi lost her memory after Dojima was murdered, and Kazama took her in to try to help. She saw a picture of Nishiki and flipped the fuck out. This means Kazama knew who really killed Dojima this whole time. Bam! As far as Jingu is concerned, he and Sarah were always close. Typical dirty politician getting backed by Yakuza type stuff. That's how he met Yumi. Yumi still had her memory issues and a hole in her heart, but didn't know who she loved before the incident. Kiryu. She decided to fill that hole, and another hole if you know what I'm saying, with Jingu, and Haruka was born. Then Jingu got a proposition to marry the prime minister's daughter, which would be a huge for his political career, and him and Yumi aren't married yet. Because Yumi's a real one, she decided to step down because she wanted what was best for Jingu. As Jingu's power grew, he went off the fucking deep end and asked Sarah to kill Yumi and Haruka so word of the scandal would never get out. That's seriously fucked up, dude. That's your fucking child and the mother of your child that you once loved. There's going to be a special place in hell for your ass. So Sarah springs a fucking hitman on Yumi, but thankfully Kazuma's there to stop it. And that whole situation is when Yumi's memories come flooding back. Kazama talks some much needed sense into Sarah, and they decide to put Yumi and Haruka into hiding. They put Haruka in Sunflower, Kazama's orphanage, and create the Mizuki identity for Yumi. Oh, by the way, that 10 billion Yumi stole, that was never Tojo money. That was Jingu's money that Tojo had been laundering. Bam! Just when everything is starting to get really good, Shimano shows up. He's pissed because Terada betrayed him. There's a full-on brawl going on between the Shimano and Kazama families, and they're over here throwing fucking grenades at a boat like they're egging a house. Where'd you get all those grenades? And how the fuck is that boat not sinking? Kiryu's pissed now because yet another peaceful conversation was interrupted, plus his suit's all wet. Don't know how the fuck the fat guy, 9-year-old child, and the guy who can barely walk got off the fucking boat, but I guess it doesn't matter because Kiryu's about to beat the shit out of everyone anyway. After getting straight disrespected by our man's Kiryu, Shimano chucks a grenade at Kazama and Haruka. Terada shoots Shimano down immediately. Not sure where that was during the massive brawl, Terada. Good looks. And even though this huge explosion hit them point blank, Haruka is completely fine, and Kazama somehow still has all of his limbs. But he is pretty fucked up. Kazama then continues to drop even more bombs on this story. The money wasn't just stolen by Yumi. Kazama and Sera did it in order to out Jingu. Bam! Yumi is at Eddie's right now. Bam! Kazama has Sarah's will and gives it to Kiryu. Bam! Kazama killed Kiryu's parents. What? Kazama killed Kiryu's parents. Bam! And Sunflower is actually an orphanage for the children whose parents were killed by Kazama. Bam! 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 Oh shit, there is so much going on right now I can't handle. So even though Kazama killed the parents of Kiryu, Nishiki, Yumi, and God knows how many other kids, Kiryu doesn't even care because to him, Kazama is his father. But the man did just eat a grenade, so after that long ass conversation, he finally decides to die. Kiryu's father figure, the only man he ever looked up to, is now dead. Big rips. Pseudo's dumbass finally wises up and starts working with Date to piece together much of the information Kiryu learned from Kazama. Kiryu and Haruka finally get to Ares. They finally found Yumi, and all three of them have a very touching reunion, only to get interrupted by the asshole himself, Jingu. This dickhead then takes a gun out and with no hesitation shoots at Haruka. Kiryu's that guy and takes the bullet for the little girl. There's a pretty lengthy conversation and dick measuring contest about political power and other related bullshit, but it basically boils down to Jingu wanting to give the 10 billion to the Omi to destroy the Tojo and then use his political power and Omi influence in order to take everything over. He's also the one that has been playing Nishiki this whole time, including the assassination of Sarah. Yes, Nishiki killed Sarah. Terada shows up to help out, but he continues to be useless because Jingu already bought off the Omi without his knowledge. Yumi pulls out a fucking bomb and says, "Try me. You're not getting this fucking money." Kiryu then pulls out Sarah's will to announce that he, Kiryu, the fucking dragon of Dojima, is Seta and Kazuma's choice to be the next chairman of the Tojo clan. Oh shit! Really gonna take over the Tojo. Let's go, Kiryu! The future chairman then beats the shit out of all of Jingu's people, but conveniently MIA Spec Ops decide to repel it off of helicopters as soon as Kiryu's done fighting. We finally think Kiryu has some help when Date and Pseudo show up, but they can't do shit because they're getting shot at. So again, it's Kiryu versus a bunch of guns, but fuck it, Kiryu has hands. These hands proceed to beat the shit out of the entire Spec Ops team and Jingu. Good riddance. But let's not forget, someone still needs to put Nishiki in his place, and he conveniently shows up to Ere's all like, "I'm gonna do whatever it takes to be on top of the Tojo. I loved Yumi, but she never cared about me. I'm gonna change my fate." Shut the fuck up, Nishiki. Kiryu says, "You can catch these hands too," and then proceeds to give them to Nishiki. Turns out Nishiki wasn't ready because this boss battle is actually surprisingly easy if you're good at the rush style. So, pro tip. Nishiki gets his ass kicked. Kiryu recovers the pendant and finds out that his picture is in it, even through amnesia. Yumi still had faint memories of Kiryu, and the power of love kept her going during her darkest hour. And after another touching moment, we find out that the pendant was the key to the vault that housed the 10 billion yen. And if you didn't know already, 10 billion yen is a shit load of money. No wonder everyone's out here killing each other. Yumi out here ready to blow the whole thing sky high, but then Kiryu gets shot? I thought we already beat everyone up. Again, no one can take a hint, and Jingu's back. Right when he's ready to kill Kiryu, Haruka decides to play hero. Gun goes off. Oh shit, he did not just shoot her. Oh damn, Yumi took the bullet? What the fuck? Jingu then points the gun back at Kiryu, and this time Nishiki shanks the shit out of Jingu. Nishiki's tight because Jingu played him, and then proceeds to shoot the bomb with him and Jingu in the vault. Boom! Bomb goes off. It looks like the entire floor goes up in smoke, but somehow the money isn't destroyed. It just rains out of the building. Also, the room everyone's in got blown the fuck up, but apparently the blast didn't do anything to Kiryu, Yumi, or Haruka. Shout out to video game logic. Everything is not okay because Yumi still has a bullet in her. Kiryu and Yumi finally confess their love to each other. Kiryu gives the ring back, and there's another very touching moment that makes you feel for the whole group. Yumi doesn't make it though, and Haruka just lost her mother. And after all of that, these dumbass cops are still pointing guns at him. Really? Really? At least Kiryu still has the chairman position to look forward to, right? Wrong. Just how his dumbass decided to go back to the Tojo after Yakuza 0, Kiryu's over here trying to get out of the Tojo at the end of this game. Within a matter of minutes, Kiryu was inducted as the chairman of the Tojo clan, but then immediately announced his resignation and retirement from the Yakuza. Kiryu is once again a civilian. He named Terada, the useless ex-Omi head, to be his successor. So there you have it. Everyone who was once close to Kiryu is dead. He gave up on being the head of the Tojo, and he has to take care of this girl who isn't even his. My man's really got the short end of the stick for the last 10 years, and probably for the next 10 until this girl is finally grown up and can move out. Also, I stopped liking Haruka during the final cutscene because she just decides to up and leave Doggo, like in the middle of the city. Lil homie was loyal to you this entire game after you nursed him back to health, and now you just go and abandon him, and she wants to use this bullshit excuse like, "Oh, I want him to find his mother." Nah, Haruka. That's not cool. Shout out to Doggo. If you found this video helpful or at all entertaining, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe, comment. What games do you want me to explain after we finish the Yakuza series? I plan on doing story reviews for every Yakuza game, and if this stays fairly successful, other franchises as well. Keep your eyes on the channel for updates, but bear with me. These videos take time. Some of the games I need to replay to get the full experience back, and Blanca's busy with a young family, full-time job, and growing stream. If you'd like to check out the live stream on Twitch, join the family on Discord, or connect on any of the socials, all my links can be found in the description below. I'm LaMuerteBlanca, and I'll catch you guys next time.